आपके अटेंशन को हमें हाईजैक करना है।
हम आपके अटेंशन के लिए सच्ची खबर में झूठी सनसनी की मिलावट नहीं करते।
ऐसी सच्ची खबर का क्या फायदा जो लोगों तक पहुंचे ही नहीं, और सनसनी या सच।
Dear viewers, the breaking news is that we'll soon be seeing lovely Sonali Bendre in Broken News.
Yes.
Welcome Sonali, and thanks so much for talking to the Tribune. Back to acting after 7 years. How does it feel?
Feels like I've come home.
It's homecoming for you, right?
Yes, that's what it feels like. Yeah.
But the challenges and routes, when you're not acting. I mean, of course, you've been facing the camera for quite some time.
Yeah.
But from acting point of view, what has been the challenge to get homecoming is.
Sorry, I think what I've been doing is more of reality TV, which is me, and so I say what I feel like saying, and there are no lines that are given to me, or there is no like this is the character. I mean, I'm just being myself, so it's conversation. But here, when you're playing a character, then the character is going to speak a certain way. The character is going to, there are lines that are given that you need to follow. So that is the different thing. That has been something that was a bit of a, I don't call it a challenge, but it was something that I was a bit worried about. Things are a little different because initially, when I started work in when I was working in movies. Remembering lines was never a problem. It was always like you read it once or twice and you've got it. But now, I've been facing post my treatment. It's been like a slight bit of like a brain fog happening. So I was worried, will I be able to remember it? But what I was told is true. It's like cycling. Once you get back to the cycle, you kind of get it. It is something like that, because once I got into the groove of it, it just kind of started falling into place again. I had to change a few patterns. I had to change a few, the way I used to work, change it, find new techniques to do things. But that was also fun because it was growth. It was learning something new. It was finding a new way to do it. So I really enjoyed the process.
So you would say once an actor, always an actor.
Yeah. I think so.
You play a journalist, Aamna Qureshi, in the series, right?
So I play the editor-in-chief, Aamna Qureshi,
okay.
And of Awaz Bharti, the news channel Awaz Bharti.
So did you have to do any prep for this part?
Yes, of course. Whenever you're playing a character which is different, definitely there would be a certain amount of prep involved, but it was a good way. It was to understand what are the different thought processes, what are the different kind of that are prevalent, and what is it that you're picking out of where, so all that was definitely something that was a part of my prep.
So do you generally watch news?
What do I say?
No, okay. So
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But there are so many new ways of looking at news and consuming news now. So I am exploring the newer ways of consuming news also.
So I was asking you whether you are an avid consumer of news on television channels.
So I do watch news. I not necessarily on the channels. There is so many newer ways to consume news now, and I'm more of a reader than a watcher, and I still enjoy reading my news.
But here it is all about television and the CRP wars and all, I believe.
Kind of. In the show, I would say the show is showing you what is happening today and what is relevant today. And I think it's an eye opener also, because it's always interesting to know what the behind the scene compulsions are, choices, what is it that is actually happening. So a lot of times, once you kind of understand what is happening behind the scenes, it helps you make an informed choice. And that's what I think the whole point is, that you show the society the mirror, and you kind of tell them that these are the various things that can be happening. And then I think viewers are intelligent enough to make their choices after that.
But the series is bold enough. I mean, is it a brave attempt to actually show what goes on behind the the world of journalism?
It is. I think it is a very good attempt, I will say, because sometimes it is not. I mean, every time bold is not good. The is that you need to be good enough and correct enough. And I say that if you achieve that, then you get a maximum reach. What boldness does is, again, it is sansani, and
Yeah.
it necessarily means such. So I think the show is more the such rather than sansani.
Very well put. So, one of your, co-actors here is a powerhouse of talent, Jaydeep Pahlawan. Tell me, how has it been working with him?
No, he is. I agree. He's an amazing actor. So is Shriya. And the good part for me is to work with different kind of actors, different kind of voices. That is super exciting for me. So I was very excited to work with the newer people, newer kind of actors. So it was a challenge as well as the most exciting part.
Yeah. So were you aware of his work prior to this? I mean, have you seen Patalok?
So it's a bit dark for me, and I came out in that phase of my life where I was really avoiding watching dark things. So I caught the work, but I've seen snippets of it, and more than anything else, I've seen him in this show, and he's so good. He's such an easy actor, and he's so good at what he does that it was a pleasure.
So Broken News is based after some British series called Press.
Yes, where it's two newspapers. It's been adapted to today's times and to India in this, and we are talking about TV channels.
Has the making of the show, while working in this show, made you more empathetic towards what journalists do, or has it made you more disdainful because journalists are either loved or hated?
I don't agree with that. Nobody should be just loved or hated. There are going to be times when you will be immensely loved, and there will be times when you might not be loved as much. But hateful and disdainful is not the vocabulary I would use, because everybody is doing their job, and there is reason why that job is being done in a certain way. I can say that I would not do it this way, but I can't judge somebody for doing it that way because I don't know what are the compulsions. I think what the show does is that it shows the viewer what can happen behind the scenes and what all happens behind the scenes, so that you make the choice of what is it that you want to watch, because what you watch is what encourages people to do more of that.
What were your personal reasons for saying yes to this part?
Because I think the show is so relevant today. And the show is not just about the TRP wars and stuff like that, but also about, it's more of a, it's not something which is like, oh, you just said this person is wrong and this person is right. It's more of a conversation, I would say. This show is more of a conversation about what do we need to do? What are the options? How we've gotten to this place. Now, how do we find a way out of here, or how do we find a way to work with this? That is what it is. And so it's not about right, wrong, or whatever. It is more about what are the paths, what are the choices in front of us, and what can we do? That's what we are talking about through various characters. You see what are the various ways you can deal with it.
How much do you think the landscape of entertainment has changed? since 90s when you were rocking the big screen?
I think everything doesn't have to be pan-India now. You know, the beauty of the storytelling is that you can tell different stories, different voices. Certain niche stories also have a platform, have a voice, and there's a place for them. Which earlier, because everything had to be pan-India, so many voices would, get lost. Right. So suddenly marginalized voices also have a place now. And that I think is wonderful.
You have been, part of cinema, acted opposite Amir Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, and we've seen you on television and now on OTT. Do you see any difference in the mediums, or facing the camera is facing the camera?
Facing the camera is facing the camera. And loving what you do is what drives it. You have to be passionate about what you're doing, then it becomes a better experience if you're passionate about it. For me, the thing has been, I think earlier in 90s, I treated it more like a job. And I think now is the time actually treating it more like my passion. I got into this profession by accident. And it was not my choice. This is what I want to be. I never, thought about being an actor. It happened to be, it was a very happy accident, happy coincidence. But now I've reached a stage where I'm so glad that this happened and I found this job, because when I look back, there is no other place I would rather be. And so for me, that is the beauty of my profession.
And OTT is the perfect platform for actors like you to be making their digital debuts.
I would say it not for me or for an actor, but I think OTT is a great platform for different types of storytelling. And I would put it that way. So it's not about the actor, but more about the story.
Mm-hmm. And more about the story. You have been an author, a bookworm yourself. Yes. Running a book club. So what would be your latest recommendation?
So, the latest recommendation that we are putting out, I'm just reading you the name. It's a very interesting book and I'm very excited about it. The book is called December in Dhaka, in 71, written by K.S. Nair. And I think it's a very, very, very interesting book, because Bangladesh war has not been looked at in a in depth. And it was a great victory. It was actually when I read the synopsis, it was so right. It was in the times that we know, it was one of the last wars which was a just war, which was justified and which was the right way to do. I think after that, no other war has that kind of a clean chit. And so understanding that war and what are the lessons from it, have we learned them properly or not, is a very, very interesting read. So I'm very excited about this book.
And you're recommending it to all your fans?
Yes, absolutely. I'm recommending it on the book club.
And what about writing? Are you writing anything right now?
No, I'm not. I'm getting too much creative satisfaction from acting. So writing is on a back burner.
Writing is on the back burner. So as a cancer survivor, what would be your advice to others out there who are fighting it out? You have been a fighter, a real fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I think how to explain this, but I think the not an easy thing to do, but the day I stopped fighting it and the day I accepted it and said, okay, this is what has happened to me, the day that happened, it was easier to survive it.
And that is what gave you the courage to come out in the open and talk about it.
The coming out in the open and talking about it was, I was doing a show at that point of time and I had gone midway and I didn't want gossip around it. I didn't want speculation around it because, parents, my child, family, it affects all of them. So the zone of it was that I just needed to put it out in my words so that it was my voice and there was no speculation about what I was going through. But the response that I got was so overwhelming. And what I realized was that there were so many people in the same situation as me, and they didn't have a place to talk about it. And so that's when I decided that, you know what, I'm going to tell the truth about my journey. I'm not going to make it sad or, this thing. I'm just going to be truthful about it. So there were dark moments. I didn't highlight them, but I didn't hide them either. The whole point was to be more welcoming, upbeat, more and all-encompassing about it. And that's how I wanted to go through this journey. And that's what I did.
So what you're saying that acting is keeping you busy. What else, where else we are likely to see you?
I'm busy with Dance India, Dance Little Masters also. I've always done these reality shows. It was like going to office in my job. That's as close to going to office regularly as it comes, because it's on a cyclical nature. Every week you go and shoot, and it's got a certain kind of timing, which is how office hours are. Because you see, fiction, when you do, it's not like office hours. It depends on today the scenes in the morning, today the night scene. So it's different, and you can be in different locations. While here you go, it's like going to the same studio on the same days, doing the same kind of hours. So this was something that I have been doing as a parent. This worked for me. The work and the home parenting balance was easy to strike with that. So I have really enjoyed doing these shows, and I am back on it, and I'm really enjoying doing Dance India, Dance Little Masters also.
So reality shows give you a lot of happiness as well.
Yeah, because I like working with kids, and I think kids, there's something so joyful and pure about them, and that innocence that is there in them. It makes it fun. It makes it, it's a good environment. There's something nice about it.
And any other shows or movies in the pipeline?
Not just now, but I'm sure they will be, because I think I've just finished this show, started on DID. Once that is over, a little summer break, and then I'll come back to work.
Broken News is a finite show, or will we have more seasons of it?
I really hope you all like it, and we have more seasons of it, because there's so much more to tell.
And what would you tell your fans, why should they be watching Broken News?
I think they should be watching it because it's the reality of today, and being well informed is very, very important. And especially in the era of overload of information, understanding what is the right information and what is not the right information is extremely important.
Right. One final question. You look amazing. The secret for your beauty.
Thank you. Compliment. The secret for my beauty, I think, genes. I need to thank my parents for it. But other than that, I really think that clean living, by which I mean eating right and sleeping well, and most importantly, working out. So, taking care of that. And most importantly, taking care of your mental health. Most important.
Which would be our ultimate advice to people, because we are facing so many mental health issues. So yes. So how to remain positive in these trying times that we are living in?
It's not easy.
It's not easy. So
it's very hard to be. It's very hard.
So one has to cultivate it,
Yes.
Like all other.
There are no shortcuts in life.
So true. Right. Okay. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you so much for talking to us, and wish you all the best for your show. Well, we are looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.